What's up, babes? It's Curly Victoria back with yet another video. If you guys are new here, welcome to my channel. If you've already been subscribed, thanks for coming back. So y'all, I braided my hair today. I've just been trying to get back into my clean girl routine / that girl routine, and you guys have been seeing it throughout the week with some little things that I've been doing. So some of my little DIY projects over the last couple days turned out pretty fire. I ran out of spray paint today, so I couldn't finish spray painting my y'all know my little bathtub tray. I didn't get to finish spray painting it. But anyway, let's just go ahead and say that I have literally a full to-do list, okay? So I am going to talk about my That Girl routine, how I'm about to incorporate being an entrepreneur, realtor, real estate, broker associate, baddie, who is transitioning from broker associate to broker. And let me just say this. The broker associate and the broker, we're holding the same license. The only difference between the broker and the broker associate in real estate in my state is the fact that I choose to hang my license underneath the employment of another broker who has the same credentials as myself, because I don't want to take on excessive da-da-da-da or whatever, right? So when I say transition into my own brokerage, I'm saying taking myself from underneath that other broker and just operating as an independent business. That is what I am working toward transitioning into. But in the meantime, in between time, in my boss up that girl routine, changing my life, how I'm going to change my life in the next 12 months, this is a part of it. So with that being said, I've already touched on this topic throughout the vlog, but I am making a separate video right now to let you guys know what I'm going to be doing, things that I'm doing to boss up, etc. Okay, so I decided to take on a position that I've worked in the past in the corporate setting. When I say corporate, that's anything that's not entrepreneurship. So whether you're at a desk, you're not at a desk, whatever, anything that's not you are working to run your own business in that business, to me, that's corporate America. Now I know a lot of times we think corporate America, we think the law, we think the courthouse, or we think sitting down at a desk, or we think of the 9-to-5 type. We have a stigma in our mindset, but for me, corporate America is anything that's not running your own. So I'm going to be Briggs. He's snoring with his eyes open. Anything with corporate America to me is outside of the umbrella of entrepreneurship. So I'm thankful and grateful for the relationships, the people, and the imprint that I've been able to make on people, as well as me receive that imprint made on me, because I can literally pick up the phone and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, this is what I'm trying to do, and they're going to be on board, because I have proven myself a long time ago as an asset to their company, and they have proven themselves to me as an asset in my life. So of course, when I'm thinking about hitting a goal and I want to get into an atmosphere that's going to allow for me to do that, I'm going to go back to people who have my back like I have their back. Briggs, boo-boo, my phone call today, my video, you just keep falling asleep and snoring. If y'all hear him in the background, it is what. Okay, y'all, so the store's filled up. But like I was saying in the video earlier, I was just talking about how I'm going to be incorporating the corporate America lifestyle back into my actual life. So first things first, that I really want to talk about in becoming that girl and doing what I'm doing to boss up and become the better version of myself, you're going to have to, number one, you're going to have to, you know what, as I'm talking to y'all, let me just take one of my phones real quick and I'm going to start putting everything in the notes. So number one, and these are my tips for when you're building your brand and you're using corporate America to fund the basis of beginning that brand, or to actually assist you in other areas. Really, it's not even just about the money aspect of it, because obviously I can do other things, but when you're bossing up to take on a position like I'm trying to take on, as far as running my own or any successful business or startup business, you are fronting a lot of cost. So you have to realize, even if you're able to maintain your bills with just your entrepreneurial endeavors, you have to think about, okay, well, if you're going to go run X, Y, and Z, you're going to go do something different from your everyday entrepreneurial goals. You're going to have costs that are going to be associated with what you have to now be responsible and liable for, that were not necessarily the things that you had to do as someone who was not in the position in which I'm aiming to get in. So for me, it's like, not only will it assist me there, but it gives me the time to start jumping into the things that I would like to have for myself. I've always said that I wanted to have my multiple investment properties, etc., etc. Now, as I was younger, I'm still in my 20s, but as I was younger, I wasn't really pressed for the properties. I'm not gonna say I wasn't pressed for the property. I didn't want to move into a house young. I know there's some people who say, oh, I moved in a house at 22, 20. I graduated college at 20 years old. I went in at 18, graduated from a 4-year university at 20. I graduated early, right? I could have easily came out of college and bought a house, or I wasn't settled in my atmosphere to do that. And at the time, obviously, I'm not thinking about trying to rent out a space and all of this type of stuff when I'm constantly on go for what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to make things happen. I'm trying to find jobs within my degree field. Like, it was a lot, right? So don't let people pressure you. And being a realtor, I'm telling you this too. Don't let someone pressure you into being a homeowner sooner than you need to be or want to be. Yes, it is an asset, but it also can have its, I won't say downfalls, but Bricks, please spit it out. It could have its, I won't say downfalls, because I think anything that's an asset's an asset and that stands alone. But it will have, there will be times where you're gonna feel like, geez, I wasn't looking to put that output of that cost into that, or I wasn't looking to have to pay that. I could have saved that, I could have pocketed that. So don't let someone make you feel like, yes, it could be essentially true that what you're paying in rent, you could be paying for a home, but you also have to realize that when you rent, you're not the one who's liable oftentimes for the HOAs in the communities if you're not renting in an apartment complex. You're not the one who's going to fix the broken things in your house when they break. You're not the one who's going to be the one who's responsible for any of those things. So sometimes renting is better because you have somebody who's going to do that for you when it happens, or lawn maintenance or whatever. You're not paying for lawn services unless it indicates it in your lease. A lot of times these things are not that you would have to worry about as a homeowner, is not necessarily the things that you have to worry about as a renter. And sometimes that could be beneficial in people's lives. Some people might not want to pay for that, especially if you don't have new construction. If you don't have new construction, you're stuck with everything could be going out on its first time, like a car. You can have a brand new car, and then obviously over time the value depreciates, but so does the operation of the vehicle. Well, when it gets to that point, you have to ask yourself, well, now I have to repair this, now I have to do this, now I have to do that, now that, because you're responsible for that. Look at that as the same way as having a vehicle. If you don't want issues, go new construction. If you are willing to gamble on issues, then understand that you may have to pay some cost as homeowners. So become a homeowner when you're ready. Become a property investor when you're ready. And if that's not what you want to do, you don't have to do that. Like, there's a lot of people who are trying to follow the trends, or they just want to be a part of things, and do what seems popular and not necessarily what they feel like needs to be done. So in the end of the day, you know, the best is definitely going to be, yet to come. So definitely just do what you're supposed to. I'm getting side. Both my phones have like little action. So the first thing I'm going to say is know your intentions, right? So basically knowing your intentions is knowing why you're there. So I'm going to put in parentheses, know your why, because that is important. Your why is going to help you when you're making a decision like me in something like this. The next thing that I was going to say is budget and set reasonable saving and financial goals. Free up your debt and anything that could assist you. well, I'm just going to say free up your debt. And this is the reason why I'm saying it. After you know your intention, you know your why. When you're becoming a business owner, or even if you are already in business, you want to make sure, first of all, that you can get your credit, your things in alignment. For example, if there's any type of credit that you have, such as credit cards, and you don't have any credit cards anymore, or you're not using credit cards because you don't want to accumulate debt, you have to sometimes take your personal opinions of things out of the equation. And those, some people are like, well, if I'm gonna buy everything cash, I don't need credit. But you do, because you have to understand, when you get to bigger spaces in your life, just because you have the cash doesn't mean you give the cash. Sometimes you're going to want to do that on a loan. Why? Because it's going to be able to not only help your credit, but it's going to be able to show that you're credit worthy. It's going to be able to allow you to get more funding. What you have to realize is, successful people, rich people, millionaires, billionaires, the truth is they make a lot of money, but they know how to leverage. And you have to be able to know how to spend someone else's money while you're saving your money. But also, like, why do you think that sometimes they can walk on a car lot and say, I want this car, with zero down, and then they walk away with the loan of their dream, zero down, with a Lambo or a Ferrari or a Pagani or whatever? And it's simply because they have the credit in check and they're leveraging whatever. They're taking equity out of this house to put into this house, and then they're going to take the equity out of that house to put it in that house, and it becomes a cycle. They're not worried about I'm not going to say they're not worried about the risk that they're taking, but they know that what they're doing is going to yield results. At some point, it's going to add up. So you have to just look at it like that. Be intentional. Like I said, know your intentions, know your why. Second thing, like I said, budget and set reasonable savings and financial goals. Free up your debt. Now, that's a note to myself, because it's easy to get in a position and you feel like, oh, well, now that I have a little coins coming in, you start thinking, well, let me go buy this, let me go buy that, let me waste my money on this, let me waste my money on that. No, you need to have it set. Know your pay dates, know all of that, know your anticipated amount you're going to be getting at minimum. If you make over what you thought you were going to make on that check, great. If you don't, you need to basically have already broken down how you're going to do something. So that's why I wanted to make my That Girl routine video like this, because I wanted to show you guys my That Girl routine in action. So because I'm starting this week on Friday and Saturday, and I'm only going to go in for, like I said, a few hours to train. I really don't need to train because I was there before, so I understand. I'm not going to say I don't need to train. I do, because there's new procedures. That is what I'm training on, but they know that I don't need to be trained on how to be myself and do what I need to do. But so I'm going to be setting that on my calendar. I'm setting that on my goals for this weekend to get ready to do. And then I'm also going to be writing out, you know, like my goals before then, so I know exactly what I need to do. So once I figure out what days they get paid on, and I know exactly what days I'm expecting my checks, I want to already have my my pre-written, broken down schedule of how I'm going to pay things. For example, if you have a check, you have 100% of your earnings in front of you, right? I'm going to be working on my financial budgeting to where it's like, okay, 30% put into savings, 70% I'm left with, right? So then the 70% may break down and say 10% is for spending money, just like maybe go treat yourself or whatever. This 20% could be for, like, you know, gas for the weeks, and maybe like bills, you know, whatever. Or 30% you say. So I could do 10% for what did I just say? Now I'm about to mess myself up. I can do 10% for just like treat yourself, 30% for saving, right? That's 40%. I can take another 10% and say that's going to be gas for the next week or two. I can take another, I would say about 30%, so 80% at this point. I could take 30% and say, well, we're going to put this to my bills. And then I could be left with 20% and say I'm going to break the 20% down to investing in this for my brand, or investing in that, or paying toward the debt and I'm just throwing out percentages and examples, okay? I haven't set how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to do that. So by knowing my wages and knowing my hours and knowing all of that throughout the week, it will help me be able to budget and schedule and plan everything. Another thing that I want to be able to do is keep my own login of my hours and everything like that, either in my phone or create. I know there's a lot of like budget apps and things like that, so I'm going to be toying around with some that are going to work out for me and the things that I'm trying to do. And if I don't do budget apps, notebooks, and then I can create spreadsheets. I'm not really pressed about finding an app to do what I know how to do. But I'm going to be creating that. So I'm going to be working on my brands, my goals, my all of that, plus simultaneously doing that. So like I said, so let's say after budget and set reasonable savings and financial goals, I'm going to say for 3, have a pre-planned pay scale broken down by percentage. So for example, I'm going to take a notebook right now because I want to show you guys in real time like the things I'm going to be doing. I'm not too sure. Does this pen even work? I don't even know if this pen works anymore. Give me a second, y'all. Let me grab another pen. Okay, so I'm gonna grab another pen here, right? So y'all know this is my notebook that says Brilliant Ideas, and in my Brilliant Ideas notebook, let me turn to, I had written sections in here, and each of these sections covered certain topics. So let's see, I think I'm gonna fold at the pages so it can remind me which page it was. No, that's for my personal brands. Let's see. Okay, I think this might be the page. Yep, I called it debt payoffs goals plus expenses. So debt payoff goals plus expenses is what I titled it. So I had set the first month to be July, or for June, but now we're gonna change it to July, right? Because technically tomorrow's Thursday the 30th, Friday the 1st, it works out perfect. First of all, your girl's hair turns 3 years on Friday the 1st, and then on Friday the 1st, your girl is going in for day 1. So what perfect way than to start something new on the 1st of the month. So let me see. Let's make sure the 1st falls on Friday. And it does, so I'll be going on Friday the 1st. My camera battery is flashing, so I might have to trade it out. But I have already created, like, basically I put debt. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it says debt, right? There's a column for that. And then you can see here it says the amount, and then it says the balance. So basically I'm going to be calling all of the companies that I feel like, oh, I owe this, you know, even if it's something small, like a old bill, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go through all my stuff to see what it is. And I'm gonna find out what is the amount. Now, I do have a few things in there. It's not that many, but I have a few things, and I'm gonna be writing them on this list. That way, I could create my own payment plans. Now obviously you can pay things straight up, but because I want positive history on my credit, I want to show that it is positive history. Therefore, I'm not going to do everything in one lump sum. I'm going to do things broken up into like 2 to 3 payments or whatever, so that it can show on the credit, hey, she set up an arrangement and she followed through. I mean, the worst thing that you can do on old debt is actually not follow through with the arrangements that you set. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through, I'm going to do all of that. So where's the other phone? So like I just showed y'all the columns, basically I just wanted to show y'all that. I'm going to go through and write down my actual things. So when I say have a pre-planned pay scale broken down by percentage, I'm saying what I was just saying. Basically, out of 100% check, know how that check is going to break down. If you got 5 different categories of things that you need to take care of, then you need to figure out how you're going to take care of those 5 categories. So then the next thing that I'm going to say is, okay, y'all, so the camera storage filled up, but all I was saying was no, basically. Okay, so let me review the list. If it seems a bit redundant on this video, I keep going back. It's just because I'm reiterating points and things like that I'm talking about. So let me just go back. So number 1, I said know your intentions, know your why, right? I'm gonna say know your why. In life. Let me make sure this makes sense to you guys. And then I said budget and set reasonable savings and financial goals. Free up your debt. I'm going to say, okay, so I know I gave you guys an order, but I'm going to be changing the number of the order because I think free up your debt should be its own. So number 1 is know your intentions, know your why in life. Stop breaks. The second thing is budget and set reasonable savings and financial goals. The third thing is free up your debt. The fourth thing is have a pre-planned pay scale broken down by percentage. Again, by percentage, we just went over that. And then another thing that I would say, and this is like my tips on becoming that girl, if you're a, whether you're an entrepreneurial person, or you are a corporate babe, or if you're doing both, these are good tactics to have as individual career fields, and they're good tactics to have as 2 career fields that merge. Because for the people who are within a job, no breaks, if you're in your job or your career and you're not an entrepreneur, these are great habits to adopt so that you can stay on course. But if you are an entrepreneur and you're like me, about to step out and transition into doing my entire own, running my own thing, then you understand that you're not going to be where you're at for long. Whether it's you're getting in that swing of things because you need to strengthen up your leadership skills, or you're jumping back in the midst because you want to jump in so you can get some financial savings to work towards your business plans, or you're jumping back in because you need the discipline, the consistency, the routine so that you can stay in momentum to do your own thing, because you have to realize you have to show up for yourself, right? So when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have anybody who's micromanaging you. You don't have anybody who's saying, wake up and show up, right? So a lot of entrepreneurs, the successful ones, are going to be self-starters. The people who are not consistent, who are not disciplined, and who do not establish a routine, those are the ones who are not going to feel like they're fulfilling their purpose, or they're not seeing results. We're all guilty of it. I've had moments where I'm like, you could be a little bit more consistent, you could be a little bit more disciplined, you could be a little bit, and I'm always self-criticizing myself. And it's not because like I'm not like pessimist or anything like that, but it's the simple fact of I know I can do better, I know I can improve, and somebody got to keep it real, and I'd rather keep it real with myself than for anybody else to have to do it. So because of that, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to stay on myself about the things that need to be done, operated, and we're going to go from there. So that's that. A lot of times if you don't do the 4 things, or you don't do these steps that I told you, or you forget your why in the company and stuff like that, you'll find yourself there longer than you need to be. You'll find yourself stressed out. You'll find yourself like, I'm still not getting to my entrepreneurial endeavors because you're spending too much time, you know what I mean, on that brand that you're not supposed to be there forever. That's why when you get into the swing of stuff like this, you have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent, because time goes by fast, but money goes by even faster. So you want to make sure that you're staying in alignment with what you're doing. You have to understand, these are my startup costs for my business. This is what I have to maintain. This is what I have to do. In order for me to be in compliance, I got to do X, Y, and Z, You need to know all of what is required of you in order for you to execute the plan. If you don't know, like for example, if I start on Friday and I have no sense of awareness of what needs to get done, I'm gonna have literally some rough weeks, right? I need to know that, okay, when you jump back into doing this, you're gonna have to be ready to go full speed. You're gonna have to be able to not only give your brand everything it needs, but you're gonna have to actually make sure you show up as the person you need there. One thing that I think is very important when you make a decision like me to go back to a corporate babe times an entrepreneur babe is, even though in your mind you're stuck thinking like, dang, I could be working on my brand, dang, I could be doing this, I could be doing that, I could be doing, but I'm here, I'm doing this. If you can take your mind from thinking like that and you can put yourself in the position to say, well, I know I am here, I know I'm doing this because I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to blah blah blah. If you could put yourself in that situation, then you're gonna understand that like it all makes sense. It's a reason, it's a purpose, it's a season for what it is that you're doing. But you definitely need to know what you're set up for. So that's what I'm telling you guys over the next day or two. I'm going to be calling all these companies and just trying to figure out the statuses, like what's up. You know, like I said, there's a few places that's not that much is owed, but I still want to set it up. And then, like I said, really working on creating my funding and stuff like that for my own brand and my own marketing and my own all of that. So I think there's going to be literally, this is going to be a journey. It's definitely going to bring you guys some content because, I'm going to be able to talk about my days. I'm going to be able to talk about what did I do to better myself in these 12 months. In these 12 months of, you know, bettering myself, my 6 months to my 12 months, but I really want to say 12. But over these next 6 months to 12 months, I'm taking the time to dedicate to myself and prove to myself that I can have anything that I want. So that's what I'm going to be executing. So while I'm writing out the personal things that needs to be tackled, the personal debt, like I said, it's not even that much, y'all. It literally is not that much. But like I said, this is not specifically for me to get into it for debt. It's not specifically that. It's more so, like I said, making sure that I'm back in my routine, my discipline. Like when I know that I'm not having good nights sleeping and stuff like that, instead of trying to catch back up on that sleep the next day, hey, nope, you got to get up because you got to go here, you got to go do that. It's nice to just be able to get back in that routine. But also, like I said, I need to make sure that, and even like I said, by clearing up those small factors and saving, that's going to allow for me to be able to juggle both my entrepreneurship and juggle the corporate realm of things, which obviously where I'm going, the position in which I'm going in at, obviously there's always room for growth. So even if I wanted to grow there before I left, I mean, I have that opportunity as well. And you know, with growth of positions and things like that, a lot of times comes more of your salary as well. So that can be a really great thing. So I'm going to be really focused. And even though I want to run my own stuff, I'm not going in there with a mindset of like, oh, well, I'm already a business owner, or oh, I'm already a boss, or oh, my mindset is still humble. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, and that's that. I'm not there for the rah-rah. I'm there literally to make a difference and to stick to my goals. So that's what your girl's going to be doing. I'm going to be reading a lot more. So I told you guys I have a whole bunch of books, and I'm just going to end up actually stacking them all up against probably a wall. And I'm going to just be taking them and reading them each day, making sure that I'm reading 30 minutes to an hour, listening to my motivation, all of the things that are going to basically set me to the next level. So I'm super excited about taking the leap because I've contemplated it several times. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to no corporate America. I want to do my own thing. But when I think about the sense that it's going to make on a lot of levels for me, on a lot of levels. Like I said, the debt part, it's not even that much debt that I have. Like, it's literally like $100 here, $100 like that. It's not like, oh gosh, she's about to go bankrupt, she's got $1 million debt. It's not that for me. But like I said, even with the possibility of acquiring properties and acquiring little pieces of this or that, that's gonna be, you know, something that I can go ahead and just start tapping into, because I have personal goals for the time, like 5 years from now. I have my goals that I already know that I want to have hit 5 years from now. And everybody doesn't think like that. Some people just think short-term goals, but I think short-term, intermediate, long-term, and that's how I plan. Y'all hear me say it all the time, failing to prepare is preparing to fail, right? So for me, your girl's gonna prepare. I have a notebook over there that I've showed you guys in many videos. It says a lot can happen in a year. Strong believer. Seen it for myself, and I know that that is true. So I am literally excited for my growth. I'm tired right now. It's 8 something at night. I'm about to make, I think, a matcha latte. I thought about making like a coffee, but if I do make a coffee, instead of making a iced, I would have probably needed to make a hot one. Same thing for the matcha, because I feel like something warm, read a book, but I feel like I've had enough coffee today, so I'm gonna figure that out. But on the tip scale here for the 5th thing is set the deadline. That's my last tip. So for me, it's 6 months to a year, right? It could be less than that, it could be longer than that. That I want to be able to tackle my goals for going back. That's debt clearance, that's setting myself up for my investment properties, that's being able to get myself back on a good structure and routine, that's being able to manage other people so that I can strengthen my management skills as an individual for my brokerage and my things that I'm planning to have. So yeah, like I said, this is not like, I don't make these videos to be boastful or to look like, oh, well, look at Miss Perfect, look at Miss, she has it going on. That's not why I make the videos. I make the videos as pure inspiration, but to also show you that I am just your everyday girl, okay? I'm not literally like, oh, we know her because she's a celebrity, or oh, we know her because of so-and-so mentioned her. I am your everyday girl. Your everyday woman who is literally aspiring to become better. Your everyday woman who is going through literally the motions of becoming. Literally being able to create my own path. I'm literally being able to know what I need to do up here, having a million and billion-dollar ideas and concepts up here, and then applying them to my everyday. So that's what your girl is going to be doing. I know everybody is different. I'm not here to be anyone else, but I'm definitely here to show you that it is possible to be the boss that you know that you can be by simply just doing what you need to do and sticking to your goals. My show is going to come on soon, but I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this so I can add it on the screen. Yeah, I'm going to screenshot that so I can add it on the screen. Sorry, y'all. I'm just checking something real quick. Okay, so yeah. So that's what your girl is going to be doing. I'm excited to share this with you. I have, like I said, I'm surrounded by so many books right now. I'm about to probably write out some things and I'm going to read, because I do want to read a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. But like I said, I'm going to stay up for a little bit longer. My show's coming on at 9. And yeah, I'm just excited about what's to come. So make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to start uploading these videos. Like I said, I know I got the hair video. I've got this video. I've got the vlog. I got a good amount to upload. So for right now, let me go ahead and start working on that stuff. And I'll see you beautiful babes in my next video. Later.